This is Keys to Success, your foot in the door to the real estate world, featuring the Jeff Cook Real Estate Team.
All right, so we are officially live for our first webinar for Keys to Success, which we've been trying to get going here for over a month, and I'm super excited that we finally get to do it. So we'll start. My name is Harley. I'm the talent specialist over at Jeff Cook Real Estate, and I've been here a little over a year now.
And I am Matt Carnes. I am the inside sales manager here at Jeff Cook Real Estate, and I've been with the company for 6 years. And I want to say just congratulations to Harley for putting all of this together.
Thank you. So we are going to do two things today. The first and foremost is going to be an overview on how to become a real estate agent. But because this is our very first webinar, in addition, we wanted to give you a little bit of information first about where we are coming from and who Jeff Cook Real Estate is. So let's start with that part first, so we can spend the rest of the webinar digging deep into how you go ahead and pursue becoming a real estate agent yourself. There are a couple things that make us unique as a brokerage. First of all, we have a great partnership with LPT Realty that's created a bunch of new opportunities for us. So we have two different sides. We have in-house a 30-person administrative team that takes care of all of the bits and pieces that get missed and left behind, and not every brokerage has the hands needed to pay attention to. A lot of things that agents end up having to do themselves in other places, which is super special, including the ISA department where me and Matt live. So that has been huge. They also take a great part in the marketing and advertising of the brokerage and the individual agents, which is spectacular. And that is where the flexibility of who we are comes in, as well as the increase in marketing and advertising and just how adaptable we've become. So we have a marketing team in-house as part of that admin team. In addition, with our partnership to LPT, we have taken on all of their marketing tools. So we have created just a powerhouse of putting ourselves out there, mostly on the LPT side to win over listings, to create a great market for our sellers, and then of course in-house to take all of those listings and make them work for our buyers, which is huge and not something you get everywhere. In addition, we make sure that we have comprehensive solutions for kind of everybody and everything, and make it possible to be adaptable with the changing market and make sure that there's a way to join the company for everyone, no matter what kind of that journey is for you, as far as what real estate is going to look like for you as a career. And we really try to touch on as many people as humanly possible. And a big part of that is making sure that we have a company culture that really allows us to maintain that adaptability.
Yeah, absolutely. Culture is super important here at Jeff Cook Real Estate. I saw something that talked about how it's like a harmony between professional and personal life, but I really see a harmony here amongst the professionals, which is super, super important. Everybody is so positive. Everybody is willing to help one another out. This really is a collaborative effort here at Jeff Cook Real Estate. We do have Judeo-Christian values as part of the backbone here, but the other backbone that we have that really heavily influences our culture is our core values. And this is something that Jeff has established a long time ago. We've been in business for 20 years, but these are the core values that have really guided our principles from day one. He always says, crush it, because we're committed to excellence and always embracing change. And you're always going to hear him say, crush it everywhere. Communication is so important. We want to understand not just our clients, but also each other. And so we have to communicate clearly. We bring respect to the workplace every single day, especially to those that are around us. And there's also, with that respect comes integrity, because we always want to do the right thing and always operate professionally. We have a great leadership team that edifies, motivates, and inspires others. But at the same time, we are humble. We want to check our egos at the door, because ultimately we're here to help our clients. If there is ever a solution or ever a mistake, we own it. We want to be upfront and honest about that. We are well balanced with our commitments and temperaments. We are also proactive. We want to innovate and constantly improve, which is one of my favorite things. At the end of the day, though, we are united. We want to have fun. We want to encourage, because we are on this journey together. Before you actually join our brokerage here at JCRE, you do have to dedicate yourself to the education process. And ultimately, that is what this webinar is about. Harley, what can you tell us about how you get started with real estate school?
Yeah, so real estate school requires 90 hours of education here in South Carolina. Different in some of the other states that we touch into. The licensing requirements in North Carolina are just a little bit different. And actually, our South Carolina school allows you to get that education for North Carolina as well, if you are in the upstate and trying to figure out what to do first. And then every state, Florida, Georgia, everything we're surrounded by has something different. But we're going to focus on South Carolina here, which is the 90 hours of education. And we try to recommend the South Carolina Real Estate School to people because it simplifies the process. You have a couple of options getting into school with them for those 90 hours. They have Zoom classes, which allow you to stay at home or do it from, wherever you happen to be. If you're allowed to take that time off of work or you're going on vacation, take it with you. You can still do the classes. They have daytime classes. They have evening classes. We also do self-paced classes. Of course, the importance with the self-paced classes is to make sure that you're the kind of person that will go log in every day and get part of that done. But regardless of where you go to school, the process is going to be the same. In those 90 hours that you have, we want you to be able to get through them because it's going to lead to the rest of the steps. And we are happy to help you through that initial process, either with the South Carolina Real Estate School or a school that you've already signed up with or a school you have questions about. I don't know every school, but I'm more than happy to answer questions about the ones that I've seen our agents go through. And especially with the South Carolina Real Estate School self-paced program, usually I have a discount code somewhere in the process that'll make it a little less expensive for people because it is a little bit of a financial hit. One of the things I want to show you guys really quick, if you want to go the way of the South Carolina Real Estate School, make sure you contact me. And I'll switch over to my information. That's my phone number. And then of course, Join JCRE is our website. That's how you reach us. I'll send you a link to the school. Otherwise, just look up the South Carolina Real Estate School and you can find this information. This is what the front of the page looks like. You're going to find daytime classes, evening classes, weekend classes. If none of those work for you, scroll down, do it self-paced. And like I said, if you click on self-paced, it's going to take you to an option for real estate, mortgage, and appraisal. You're going to go into real estate, South Carolina, your education level. You guys can't see the drop down. It's going to say pre-licensing and you're a salesperson. Find your courses. There's going to be a way to get it done and you have options. So go down here. If you have questions about what those offer, again, be in touch. We'll make it work. We'll get you through school. Can't take the class for you, can't take the exam for you, but certainly can answer questions for you along the way. That's the school. That's the process. I know I keep looking over at the website just to make sure I hit everything for you. But I definitely encourage the Zoom classes if you can find the time. Because otherwise you really have to set time aside in your schedule and be very dedicated and have a huge support system to get you through those classes because they give you 6 months to do them, which is great, except that you're going to start to lose information and it's going to be more difficult to pass the test at the end, especially without that support system in place.
Yeah, support system is super important. I've been with the company for 6 years, and I cannot explain to you how big of an undertaking this is. It's always a process of learning and improving, and having a spouse, a significant other, family, friends that encourage you to go the distance is so super important. In the beginning, you're just focused on the classes, getting prepared to take the test and everything. The test is the significant undertaking. And so the more support that you have, the better. talk to them about how you're doing. Talk to them about, any kind of successes that you've had or troubles you might have. Maybe somebody in your family or your circle of friends will be able to help you solve some problems that have come your way. But it is super important to have a support system in your personal life. But also with that, you also need to be able to financially support yourself, because just as it is a mental challenge, it's also a time challenge. You have to be prepared for that.
Yeah, no, that's where people get caught up with not finishing out schooling or not pursuing being an agent, is the financial burden that brings on. It is not like going to college and paying for a 4-year degree. It's a one-time for classes, one-time fee. Now, are there other fees associated with being a real estate agent? Of course there are. But you have to be able to be prepared to pay for those classes. You need to be prepared to pay for all the things that come with agency. But the thing I discuss with people most is that you have to be prepared realistically to not have regular income, consistent regular income for 3 to 6 months. And that's not to say you're not going to have closings in 6 months, but it's important to know, especially if you're brand new to real estate, that nobody gets paid until the deal is done. Everybody's sitting just with you like you are, waiting for everything to close. So money exchanges hands. And then you have to understand, here in South Carolina, you're talking about a 30 to 45-day contract. That's provided you guys find a home and go under contract the first day, the first week. Sometimes it can take a while to find what you're looking for or to sell the home that you're helping somebody sell. And then you have that waiting period. Can it happen faster? Sure. Can you pay with all cash and everything happens in a matter of a couple of weeks and there's your commission check? Absolutely. But that's not the norm. And I like to prepare people for that extended wait time so that financially you can take on real estate and reach that point where now you have consistent closings. There's things in your pipeline and you're not worried about where your next commission check is coming from. So long as you can take that on, you are ready to move forward. Sign up for the classes, get started, know that that's going to happen for you. And then communicate with us as you're going through classes, which is also super important because once you take that leap, you need your support system, not only at home, but you need it with a brokerage. You're going to continue to work outside of joining a brokerage, but you need to have somebody that you trust to be like, hey, I'm having difficulty with this part. If you don't pass an exam on the first time, reach out. Say, hey, I'm struggling. Do you have any resources that'll help? Yeah, absolutely. We have things that we can offer to help. Again, we can't take the test for you, can't pass it for you. You need to be able to get licensed on your own, but you don't have to do it by yourself. If hopefully that makes sense to people. Once you get through about half of that class, things start to pick up for you because then we're going to have you come in and we're going to have you sit with a manager. We're going to have you take on a conversation, and go through that. But it's important to understand kind of the steps. And the only way you're going to know the steps, and I'll put them up for you guys. The only way you're going to know those steps is to stay in communication with us and then stay in communication with your school as well, because they're going to remind you when to start putting in your applications for things.
Yep, absolutely. Licensing process is super, super important. And I always talk about managing expectations. And here's where you kind of have to manage your own expectations with getting started. You got to know what brokerage you want to go to and know that you real estate is exactly what you want to do. And then the next step is choosing a school. Follow with that with sitting with our manager for an interview. Start submitting for testing. And as Harley said, stay in touch with us, because once you pass the test, then you got to do fingerprinting, you've got to do background testing, you've got to take the test and all that. And then obviously you have to start to onboard with the brokerage that you've chosen. But yeah, definitely the biggest thing that you can do is get with a sales manager so they can start preparing you for all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you need a recap on those kind of steps, yesterday, actually, Jeff posted, if you go to any of our social media, you're going to see something that's like a 60-second clip on what it takes to be an agent, going over the age requirements, going over the education requirements. It's a great little 60-second snippet. I suggest going and finding us on social media and taking a look at that as well, and then diving in. But you were talking about, again, back and forth about meeting with the sales manager and staying in touch. There are expectations about meeting with the sales manager that you need to be prepared for, because you're getting ready to be self-employed. You're getting ready to run your own business. You're going to be working with a brokerage, but you need to have some ideas in place, which means you need to come in and speak to our managers with not necessarily a fully developed business plan, but an idea of maybe how much you want to make, how much it's going to take for you to stay in the business. Our sales managers, which are located in every single one of our offices, are great at reverse engineering numbers for you. You need to make $50,000 year one. You need to make 80 year two. You need to be a $100,000 agent, which, by the way, we have training for, within 4 years. Okay, great. Here's the number of closings you'll need based on averages. Here's the number of appointments that takes. Here's the number of phone calls you need to sit down and make every single day based on the company averages to see the numbers that you want. Our job is to make sure that your goals are met and those goals align with who we are. If you still have trouble with a business plan, you want a little bit more detail, again, I can email you out a link to a business plan, help you write it up. I can't help you write the business plan, but the PDF file will help you, give you step-by-steps what a business plan might look like for you, because you are going to be in business for yourself as a real estate agent. Other things that you need to know: how you want to be a real estate agent. Do you want to be on your own? Do you want to use all of the resources that we have as a company? We're a lead generating brokerage. We have tons of leads for you to work with. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And I would say, and maybe a little bit better than I do, but most of our agents, that is what they're doing, is they're utilizing everything, including the inside sales department, who's setting appointments for them.
Yep.
That is a business plan for you to take on stuff like that. You can say, hey, I want to be part of a team. Hey, I want to bring over my own team. I want to downline, which is another great thing that LPT is offering us as a brokerage, is we can now downline, we can now have stocks. Take a look at what you want real estate to look like for you. And more often than not, we're going to have an option that serves those purposes, because we really do break down options for everyone. And the sales manager is going to be the meeting to have where all of those things are put out on the table for you. Even once you have that meeting, like I said, you're not even going to be all the way through school yet. You're not even going to be ready to join, or at least ready to work as an agent. So then we fall back on stay in touch. That can be with me. That can be with your sales manager. That can be with your school. But stay in touch, especially if this is the brokerage that suits your needs, because we need to know where you are in the process and then how we get you to the finish line to start, especially if your plan is to do that in 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a daily grind. And the more you communicate with us, the better, especially leading up to your test. I know the school recommends that you take sample quizzes and practice for the tests. But it's super important that we know where you're at. That way we can begin to put a plan together for you to join. Momentum is huge in all of sales, but it's really important in real estate. Once you start building that momentum and you're starting to check off the boxes of things that you've completed, let's keep going. Keep the manager informed. They can tell you what the next steps are. Stay on task. Don't lose that momentum. Don't succumb to your failures. Keep pushing. Real estate is always about pushing things forward, because that leads to success. If you've made a mistake, learn from the mistake. Utilize what you have learned. Try again. I am still learning. Harley is still learning. We are all still learning. Every single agent that we have in our company is always learning, and all of that is based upon communications. And it starts by communicating with the sales manager where you're at in the beginning of the process.
Yep, and that's all we can ask for you to do. We had a little Facebook message pop up saying communication is key, and it absolutely is. So we got that. Communication. Hopefully by now that works for you. I think we are actually planning a webinar completely around communication that'll dive deeper into the importance of communicating before you're licensed, during your licensing, and as an agent. And we'll break down each one of those for you further along. But provided you go through school, you communicate, you know what you're doing, and it's officially time for licensing at this point. We touched on background check, we touched on fingerprinting, all that's done. Now we're talking about it's time to go. You have to declare a brokerage. Again, the goal here, of course, is that in all of your communication with us, you've determined that not only are we who you want to work with, but we have a plan that suits what your business plan looks like. Then we're going to move forward into onboarding you. There's going to be paperwork. There's so much paperwork when you come on. Luckily, I think at this point in life, it is all digital, but you're going to be in touch with your sales manager at that point, our onboarding team at that point. It's going to get real quick, real exciting. You're going to sign off and you're going to be an agent. That is kind of where it's time to manage expectations. Hopefully you've done that already. You're an agent. It's time to start. That is where we go back to, do you want to be a six-figure agent? Use our training. We have training. We go over everything. This is not classes. This is training once you're licensed. We're going to go over how to have an effective conversation, how to nurture leads effectively, because sometimes you're ready now and sometimes you're not ready for 6 months. And you have to know how to handle both. You're going to go into presentations for your buyers, presentations for your sellers, hit them both. Absolutely. You're going to know how to do that effectively. How do you execute an open house? Follow one of our seasoned agents and do an open house with them. Pick up open houses that other people are saying, they need an open house done. Pick it up, enjoy it. But manage your expectations for yourself. And this is where learning how to manage expectations for your clients is so important. And our training process definitely teaches you how to do that to keep them happy. And if their expectations are managed, they're going to stick with you until the process is over. And that is kind of A to Z. You're now licensed, you're now effective, and you're taking off. So I think we had a few things come in, questions beforehand I wanted to address before we kind of wrapped everything up. I'm going to take a couple, hopefully, Matt, if you can take a couple.
Sure.
One of the things, and I think we touched on this effectively, but it was, does the brokerage assist agents in creating a business plan and setting realistic goals? We assist, we don't do it for you. Like I said, come in with some numbers or ask for that business plan PDF. Our marketing team was awesome putting that together, and I'm sure they'll be happy to send it out to you again. You can, again, give me a call, email me, text me, message me on Facebook now that you know how to find me. We'll get it for you if you need that information. Again, I'm going to let it run through the bottom there. Join JCRE is our official application. You're going to say, hey, I want to join the team and I want to have a conversation. That's where you have that conversation. If you don't fill that out, that's fine initially, but at some point we need that information from you. If you want to call me, my number's going across there. It's the 970-1362. We can do it that way. And I can manually put it in while we're having our conversation, and that is just fine too. But back to the business plan, we'll help you. We'll not do it for you. You need to have some of your own ideas, but we'll give you the resources to get it done. We had a question about any advice on building and expanding a client database.
Yeah, I can definitely help you out on that one.
Okay.
The nice thing with Jeff Cook Real Estate, and this is one of the aspects about this business that I absolutely love, and you touched on it earlier, Harley, is Jeff Cook Real Estate is a lead generating brokerage. All of our marketing that you see across all the areas that we're in leads our clients to go to our website to sign up with their name, telephone number, email address, and a city of interest. At the bare minimum, that's the information that you have. So when you are licensed and you have joined our team, day one, obviously, depending on the area that you're in, you have access to a huge number of leads that is available in that specific area. There are anywhere between 50 and 100 new leads that come in per day. And all you have to do is pick up and call. It is limitless. There are so many leads that our CRM system allows you to filter. You can go to people that registered 90 days ago that might be a little bit further along in the process but haven't selected an agent. So the one thing that I always say is you got to have a great conversation with people all the time. The traditional real estate agent is going to the grocery store, to the doctor's office, to the car dealership, to family gatherings, to church, that they're always networking and trying to have conversations with people. And not everybody is built that way. So we have leads that you can call day one. And if you have a good conversation with them, you learn their motivation, price point, how they're wanting to move forward with paying for the home, then you're adding them to your pipeline. And the more people you talk to, the better. And so there's the key of building an unlimited pipeline. It's like literally the only limitation is how many people that you can handle talking with, but the resources are there, not just for the people to call, but there's people to help you on how to have a good conversation. And you can use this kind of conversation with people in person as well as over the phone, which is the nice thing. So there is no limit to what you can achieve at this brokerage because of the fact that everything is there for you to get started day one. Have conversations with people, put together your pipeline, and keep moving them to the next step.
No, that's awesome. I don't think I can add anything to that. So we're just going to go straight to the next question because that touched everything. Again, we touched a little bit on this, but a question came in. Is there a centralized marketing team or do agents handle their own marketing efforts? The answer is both. So we do have agents that have their own social media accounts that buy their own leads, that go through and do their own thing marketing wise. But in addition to that, we have two different kinds of marketing. So again, we have the in-house marketing as part of that administrative team. It's 30 people, 31 people right in that window there. They do a fantastic job promoting the company. You know, they're in charge of all those billboards you see, the radio ads you hear, all of our events that happen around town that we give back to. Marketing is involved in all of that. But, when you're talking more about how to make your business grow, they will help with that. We also have a listing and closing team, which doesn't sound like marketing, but realistically, when your listing team is there making sure your pictures are what they are supposed to be, your descriptions are what they're supposed to be, in the end, you're marketing yourself as somebody that's competent and knows what they're doing and can get the job done. So I would include that. And then the extra resources that LPT Realty gives. We have a fantastic listing box, and I don't have one in front of me, but I'm happy to send you details on that. It's tons of stuff that you can use to market your individual listings, market yourself, whole brochures and books and magazines going back and forth. Yeah. On how the benefits of doing what you're doing, the benefits of holding on to a home, selling a home, investing in another home. It really has it all, which is a super neat thing that we've been using since October. And I think it has been a great resource. I think now we're moving on to QR codes that bring up all of your information right then and there, individualized websites that are provided for you by the company. So we've definitely got it marketing wise, which has been fantastic. And the addition of LPT Realty to Jeff Cook Real Estate has just amplified that, which has been great on that perspective. I know we are hitting 30 minutes, but I want to do one more because I thought it was kind of a cool question. And it was, how is the brokerage perceived within the local real estate community? If you want to kind of take that and wrap it up, because you have 6 years with the company.
Yeah, sure. No, absolutely. Jeff Cook is pretty much a household name here. I mean, billboards in Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Columbia, Greenville, Rock Hill. We get calls from Beaufort, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina. We've got a small presence in Charlotte. The one thing that I absolutely love about this company is Jeff is involved in the community, not just Charleston, but across the entire state. 1% of all commissions goes to Jeff Cook Cares, and that goes to different charities across the state. If there's an unfortunate incident like a tornado, like happened a couple of years ago in Moncks Corner, Jeff assembled the entire Charleston team here to go help with cleanup and providing food, and he is just very involved in the community, and that speaks volumes to Jeff himself, because he not only talks the talk, but he walks the walk. And that's one reason why I absolutely love working with this brokerage. And, he is always involved. He is always there. He helps people within the organization themselves if somebody needs it. So I feel very blessed to be a part of this company because of him. So yeah, he's got just a great presence in the community.
That's awesome. So we are now up and over our 30 minutes, but so I'm going to cut off, continuing to ask questions this
Sure.
time. But we're good. Hopefully this gave you some basic answers on how to go through the process. If we confused you, let me know I confused you, and I can kind of reevaluate the discussion and give it to you in a different way. If you're better at reading information, I have a great email I can send out to you on how to become an agent and things about us, just basic steps, 1, 2, 3, and, stay in touch with you that way. So, I'd say some of us are texters, some of us are callers, but if you're out here trying to become a real estate agent, be comfortable on the phone, pick up the phone and call me. Like, you're going to be on the phone as a real estate agent. Don't let that stop you from starting, that you're kind of afraid to call. So definitely make that happen for yourself. We're here to answer your questions. I'm going to we're going to walk away, but I'm going to leave the live up for a couple minutes in case you guys want to keep, sending text messages or messages through the chat system. And I'll stick around and try to answer them for a little bit. If you, haven't sent us your information on how to reach out to you, but you do have a question, make sure you tell us how to reach you so we can answer that question for you. But other than that, this was a fun first go.
Yeah.
I had fun.
Yeah.
So
putting together, there's lots of great information. We're always here to help and provide guidance and, wish everybody the best.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's what we're going to do. So we will see you officially next month when we're going to kind of hit on all the changes that come with becoming an agent, changes to life, how to turn that into kind of just excellence in personal life, professional life, and step forward with continuing on how to become an agent. And that's the theme throughout the year, is kind of helping you make through that process. So hopefully that was helpful, and we will see you guys next month. Right? Yes. Yep. Okay. So enjoy. I appreciate it, you guys. I'm going to say bye to Matt real fast, and then bye, Matt.
See ya.
I'm going to say goodbye to you guys one more time. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Chat's going to be up for a minute, and then we'll say goodbye. Bye.